Hello, and welcome to Metachemistry. This is episode 125, and we're here to talk about our experience at the Krug with Ian and I there and kind of what we were doing, since some of you may have noticed that we weren't playing in the event. And also, we have a couple guests on with us. We have Tim Chainsaw and Azoka on as well to talk about their final game at Top Table.
Hello.
Greetings. Good to see y'all.
Likewise, we really appreciate you guys joining us. And so we're going to kind of dive straight into things just after a quick shout to Mo Games, sponsor of Metachemistry. And if you're looking for Infinity product, you can find it over at mo-games.com. And as part of their sponsorship of the show, they provide all of our paid patrons of any level a 10% discount code to their store. And if you're just a member of our Discord, whether you're a patron or not, you're entered to win a $40 coupon code each month. You just go to the server roles and you pick the Mo Giveaways role, and then you're entered for that. To win, you just have to have a United States address for Mo to ship to. Because what's better than games? Mo Games. So, we were all there at Top Table, in a way. And it was a really exciting game. Ian and I, we got to participate in the live stream that Stephen Box was running and got to commentate on that game and watch that showdown between the two of you. And it was quite the game. For those of you at home, if you didn't watch the live stream, it is up on YouTube, so you can go find that game as well. We'll make sure to have a link to the video in the show notes. But yeah, so both of you were vying for first place. It was a really tight game and ended up being exceptionally so at the end. Do you guys want to kind of talk about your experience playing on the stream and kind of how that may have affected your play, and can I go from there?
Yeah. First of all, I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, and I assume as much fun as Tim did. Doing your casting. That was great.
It was a lot of fun.
It was cool. Yeah, definitely enjoyed it.
Honestly, they were such high quality.
Yeah.
I've been on streams. What he did was not easy.
No, it was not.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, there was I think 7 cameras, maybe 8 when Bostria was going around with the handheld one, and so switching between those, overlaying things for the scores and all that. We were just talking, and I was kind of switching some camera stuff here and there for some angles and stuff. If it happened to be what he was choosing to stream at the moment, some of that made it onto the stream, but it was all the camera stuff was 95% Steven, and he did a great job.
Yeah, for sure. Very professional.
And the guy didn't even know Infinity. That's the funniest thing about it. He was just yeah, I do a lot of 40K, and I think I've read about 10 pages of the rulebook. I'm like, you're doing great then. I don't know.
Yeah. So Stephen Box is, I think, best known for his channel Vanguard Tactics, which is a 40K centered channel, and he's been consulting with Corvus Belli for a lot of the video content lately, both the stream. If you've seen some of the recent Warcrow videos, he's been on those. So yeah, he's kind of helping kind of up the general production value for a lot of these things.
Well, I look forward to seeing more of him.
Same.
Yeah. I think that he'll continue to be around.
It was a lot of fun working with and around him. He seemed to bring a lot of good energy to the crew, which was cool.
Yeah, very focused, which was nice.
Yes, focus is definitely needed on oftentimes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Tim, I don't know about you, but playing on the stream didn't really feel any different than playing at Top Table any other time.
Yeah, no.
I think the only thing that for me was different than normal was I had to be careful about moving around the table.
Yeah, camera, tripods and cables and all that jazz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on top of your kimono with having to hold your sleeves up the whole time.
Yes. Otherwise, I'm
Not-
knocking over models and everything.
Everything.
I'm really glad that it wasn't just dying hot in that thing.
Yeah.
I was a little worried. I thought that would be more uncomfortable than it was.
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. I initially wore a shirt under the kimono. That was not going to fly. The shirt was just way too hot. But taking off the shirt, the kimono was, it was a yukata, but it was very light, so didn't impede me too much, at least.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Because it was a little toasty. I mean, that was the secondary or side room from the main event, and it was a little cooler, but it was still a little warm. A lot of bodies.
I like your
That was
emphasis.
certainly the coolest place in the tournament.
Yeah.
The 2 rooms, yes, that is. I agree. But yeah, what about you, Chainsaw? Did you know? I know that you're used to performing under pressure, so it sounds like that there wasn't really
I mean,
a
the
lot
main
of
difference
added stress.
it was really just like having Bostria like doing the extra player recordings and like the
Mhm.
game itself. The biggest difference I would say is that we had like our own judge and our own pace.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so you can have calls made immediately, and not that there were many. I think that Gabe only chimed in like what, twice, maybe. There wasn't much.
Yeah, and one
Oh.
was to tell us to take our stuff off the table.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like it's in the shot.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that was one thing that Steven had mentioned. Like, don't let them put their lists on the table. Looks like garbage. So no papers on the table.
That
I
is
think they can.
definitely something that I forget because I put stuff on the table all the time.
Right? Yeah, I feel like most players do. Right? Like if there's space, you need to put stuff somewhere.
It is very interesting to play how much other things that you have to consider playing on a streamed table, such as, exactly what we're talking about. You don't want to put your orders on the table or sort of things like that. So that was something that I guess was new to me, and I definitely did have to kind of consider.
Sure. Yeah, were there other things that you noticed maybe after the stream that you thought about perhaps that you might have wished that, oh, if I had known that, I could have done things this way, or I wish I had been better prepared for X accommodation that needed to be made or anything like that?
Not like that's specific to the stream table. Like I probably should have practiced provisions more than twice.
Fair.
You know
There's
what,
that.
Tim? I think with your performance, you're good. You did great.
I'm doing all right. In my mind, I was like, it's just supplies with more parts, right? It's fine.
Yeah. On a diagonal.
Yeah. What about you, Azoka?
Same. I really don't think. I guess if I was to give myself advice going into the tourney or into the last mission, how about the insightful? I would have nothing to say. Like, just do you. There really wasn't. It just felt a lot like hanging out with your buddies.
For sure.
Which is a really good feeling to have when you're playing at a top table in a stream. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would have said something like that. I don't think I was really nervous going into a streamed game. But I think if I was to go back and say like, dude, you're playing with your buddies. It's going to feel exactly like that. So have a great time, which is exactly what happened. So
For sure.
And you guys were literally like the best duo to have on the live stream for the top table. It was so cool when we were getting all set up and it came down that like, oh, this is who we're going to get. This is awesome.
yeah, I
totally
agree.
Yeah, definitely something that came up where we know, I mean, obviously, we know both of you guys. We know you have really good energy, and that, it wasn't a tense game. Like, you guys were playing seriously and playing well, but it was it was full of banter and um, just kind of a liveliness that sometimes
It
gets
wasn't
a
too
little
sweaty.
lost. Exactly.
Yeah, I really appreciate that about our game.
So, speaking of which, do you guys want to kind of give a little bit of a rundown of your game, both what you guys played, of course, for those that aren't already aware, and kind of talk about your individual highlights or MVP units or your favorite moments, things like that?
Yeah, Tim, you want to take it away?
Sure. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a surprise to anyone who's seen any of my like after action report about this tournament. But like Sensei's update has been unreal for the faction.
So good.
Both Yujing and ISS, like gaining counterintelligence makes it so we never have to see that stupid Tao Wu again, and makes an already good model great. And then beyond that, it lets you really mess with how you're like approaching problems. Being able to say, okay, I'm going to like I approached my lists like they were a wave after wave kind of thing because I was like, all right,
Mhm.
when people die, they're going to be in group one because that's who I'm using. The next round, I'm just going
Sure.
to move someone else into group one, and they're going to go. And so it's
Yeah.
that constantly over and over and over. You saw in play because I feel like you had mentioned a bit earlier that everyone felt like, oh, he's out of it, but I still had 10 orders in the last turn, and I felt like I'd been bashed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. There was still plenty of gas in the tank. Like, not necessarily a lot of heavy hitters per se. I mean, some. Like,
I mean,
Adil definitely
Adil was
carried
there.
that.
He's such a heavy hitter. I don't know what game you were watching.
No, he is, but I'm saying it's like, okay, Adil kind of has to carry the game, and he did, more or less.
Yeah.
But, like, if
Oh, yeah.
Adil went down from the Hatamoto, like, if the Hatamoto got a lucky crit and Adil went down, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of beyond that, is what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
there weren't a lot of other options. Like, Adil had to do it.
Yep, and sometimes that's how it's got to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so definitely Strategos level 2 is just so rare, but when it comes up, it's really nice.
Oh, yeah. Watching
And
you do that with your orders, I was like, I tried so hard.
I got so bad. I mean, I will say the other end of that, the thing I want to try next with the faction is instead of it being that I'm moving a single unit every time, I want to move Sensei. Like I'll
Sure.
move 3 orders down.
Right, yeah. Yeah, just to, like, give gas to whatever group needs to do something. And I think that kind of could be really interesting, particularly with, like, an even split
Yeah, and
in terms of the
especially if
overall list.
I expect what you'd see is a slightly heavy split on one end, and that's where Sensei is. And so if you
Sure.
do split it, then it becomes like he lopsides the groups the other way.
Right. Yeah, so that way you
Um,
can always kind of feed whatever tool you want.
yeah, and it's definitely the kind of thing where that list I brought it because it's just that mission requires a billion specialists because nobody but a specialist can touch it, right?
Mhm.
Like it's not even the kind of thing where once you get it out, you have to have a specialist to give it to somebody. You can't even just get off the ground. You know what I mean?
If it's in the zone, if it's on the ground outside
Yeah.
of the zone, then anybody could grab it. But yeah, inside the zone, you need a specialist.
Yep.
So like that requires that you have like a billion, roughly. Yeah, roughly a billion.
Approximately. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Math checks
And
out.
and I feel like if I was gonna do this again, like having
Mhm.
played it and going second, I think I would intentionally put my zone on your end in your area somewhere.
Yeah. That's
Like that makes
So you can just transfer.
a very
not even
interesting
that.
observation of the mission.
It's not even that because it's like if I'm going to go and do counteract stuff to him, I'm gonna be on
Mhm.
his end of the board.
Right.
And so it's not even necessarily stealing as much as having that option to be like, all right, I go left or I go right. Whether that be go get things and then um put it in my zone, or go take his and put it in my zone. Like just it being so
Mhm.
far away, it felt impossible.
Sure, that you kind of have to pick if you are more conservative with it. Sure.
Yeah. Like I remember after the game, even we talked about it a bit, and I think I had a better opportunity if I just not tried to kill you.
Yes, 100%.
Where I think I could have stolen a win there if I had just gone the other way using disco ball.
Mhm.
And part of
Sure.
that comes back to like if the email had gone off, I would feel less like I was under the gun for stuff.
Yep.
Um, but in general, it's definitely something where I want to be self-critical of like, well, what made me think of murder instead of button? Why did I
Mhm.
not consider that other way as like a better way to get my mission done?
I think it's really
Sure.
hard to maintain focus into
It's
turn
so hard.
3.
Yeah, especially after these are 4 games of competitive Infinity. Like it's it's hard
Yeah.
at the best of times.
Yeah, and you have a like how do I say it? There is a certain emotional attachment to events that have occurred in your game already. That
Yes.
it's not
Sure.
always easy to have like a level head. Like I wanted to kill the Hatamotos. They needed to die. I was tired of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is funny. They really didn't do that much.
Right? No, I shouldn't.
Yeah, they weren't.
Like I needed to kill the one that had the box, but like the other
Yeah.
guy was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was just absorbing shots mostly.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
just
that
put there to
especially.
eat orders.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ignore it, that's when it chops you into little pieces.
True. Yeah, you don't want them to sit there. But yeah, that was definitely one of the big moments that I saw was when the Jianfeng came out of hidden deployment at top of 3, I think it was, right? And placed an Emarat on both the Tanuki and the Hatamoto.
You missed it. It hit
And,
the other guy too.
yep.
Oh, it
And
hit
the
another
Shizuku.
Oh,
It
And
hit the
hit the,
Shizu or whatever.
you get 3 hackable models.
and
And both
all
HI
of
made
them
them.
passed.
No.
Oh,
Tanuki
did the
failed.
Tanuki not pass? Oh, okay. Because I saw that there were at least the 4 passed saves,
But
and I thought it was just those 2. But yeah, okay. Oof.
but Snooki doesn't really care.
Certainly does.
Oh, right, because aren't they a warhorse?
They are, but they get
Oh, but they
immobilized.
get immobilized. Sure. Yeah, because they're a hacker.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
eventually killed him. Like the
Yeah, it's fair.
what's his name? My Guangxi controller just came up with a combi rifle, just put him down, like off you go.
Yeah, right. Fair. Yeah, that was definitely one of the standouts for me.
I feel like it is sometimes so rare to get like that is what I want hidden deployment to feel like every time. An exciting reveal, right?
Yes.
Like I was like, oh, get him!
Mhm.
Come on, I believe in you.
Yeah. You should
like,
play Raiden. You'll get that tons.
I have some shit lined up. I understand.
Or you take 3 of them like I do and whiff every shot. You know, it happens.
But like I could have revealed him earlier, but it was active turn for your melee monsters. And I was
Right.
like, be patient. Now it's like either you're gonna go
Mhm.
do a button later, or we'll get an opportunity at some point.
Yeah.
And when the hacker was moving, I was like, all right, well, guess who's not moving? these 2 motherfuckers.
Yeah. Lo and behold, surprise.
He's too tough. How could I question their honor?
It's true. That was on you.
That is on me. I deserve what I got.
that was on you, just like the Kyojin trying to flamethrower a deal was, I didn't respect his honor there.
He just took it with a chest.
Yeah, top of 1. What all did you hit? So Azoka, you had a Kyojin killer that shot up the board and dropped a heavy flamethrower while ending in CC with a deal. What all did you catch with the flamethrower?
I caught a deal, the missile bot, and there was one other.
There's a Guangxi controller?
Yeah, I think I caught the controller and a decoy.
And one of
Oh
Sensei's
no, you're right.
yeah,
It was Sensei's decoy. You are totally
I
right.
got four
So
models.
Four models.
3 models. One of them was fake.
Yeah,
Surprise.
that's fair.
We
And
all knew it was fake.
Yeah, exactly. It was just, might as well get it out of the way if it's going to fit under the template anyway. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, you want to walk through those first handful of orders for those that didn't watch the game?
Yeah, for the first handful of orders, I was trying to listen to my inner Josh, and he gushes about the Kyojin killer, and I'm like, you know what? You got points, so let's try it. Ran up the Kyojin killer to dive it into a deal because I know that if I kill a deal, the game is over. Or maybe I don't know that. That's what I think. I think if I kill a deal, I have a much easier game.
Sure.
So try to dive bomb, throw away the Kyojin killer, use the heavy flamethrower, and maybe you kill him, maybe you don't. Maybe you at least get a wound. And there was a big old Link team back there. So Kyojin killer, super jump, ran all around, dove into melee with a deal just like you said, and a deal and the Link team decide they're going to shoot. Or no. A deal CCs because you're smart like that. And then I believe the Kwang Shi hit with a chain rifle.
Yep.
And then, because there was only one Kwang Shi that could draw a line of sight in a way on the Kyojin killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you dodged with the controller and tried to dodge with the bot. Yeah. The controller passed the dodge, the bot failed the dodge, and then Adil and the bot succeeded their armor saves. So it was only about 4 orders to get the Kyojin killer there, but no forward movement on wounds for that board.
And then end of the order paralyzed from Adil's para weapon.
Yep.
Yeah, which I think was brutal. I forgot that I needed to swing with the deal before I started moving people in the middle.
I was really hoping that you would do that, and I would pass my dodge, and I'd be like, "Ha ha!" And then now I get beaten CC, but it's cool.
Right. Now I'm trying at least.
Here, take 4 monofilament saves. Like
It's only PS8. It's fine.
I mean, hey, the passing as many EM saves as I did was quite an experience.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
5 out of 6, pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
In terms of on my end, I was very worried when you got to go first because I was like, well, I know that you can be incredibly aggressive. And one of my only things that really protects me is the fact that I have a 6th sense hacker.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were initially moving around with the Kyojin, I thought you were just trying to kill the hacking network.
Yeah.
Because I could have totally imagined him instead just running inside camo to jump into Zenying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if I were to think back on that game, what I should have done is gone after the hackers 100%. I should have gone after the 6th sense hacker, up into the building and down into the hacker and just eat him alive. And then I could just be really aggressive with the Hatamoto. So that was definitely a change that I would have made.
For sure. And that's, it's hard to see all the lines for sure, because that might have put you it might have been an easier pick and put you in a good position. But like you said, that would have been a very critical, moment. If a deal did go down, then that puts an enormous amount of pressure on ISS's game for the remainder. So bigger risk, but much bigger potential reward. And it just didn't pan out.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. I will tell you that I did want to kill that forward observer bot. That was priority number 2, and it was going to be priority number 2 no matter what I was doing in that game. Sure. I think that people are sleeping on the forward observer bots, especially with tactical awareness. They're just so fast. They have their free order, and they do, especially in provisioning, where it was going to get a box. Yeah, so it had to go.
And sensors, great. You know, maybe you don't get hit by the EM weapon because you discovered it early.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great as incidental equipment. Like, it's one of those things I don't find myself reaching for specifically to get sensor, but if I happen to have sensor, it's really nice if you need it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Kind of the bots. Like, just in general, they have a kit to fight everything. Some of them have really funny things too, like plus damage combis. I forget who has that.
So it's weird because you're talking about the JSA one. The JSA one has a plus damage combi and a flash pulse +1 burst, but it doesn't get tactical awareness and it loses sensor.
Interesting.
Awkward, and I hate it.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to fire with that thing would still be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, if you're shooting Mark 12 shots on 11
Yeah.
from 40 inches.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But it's fun.
I mean, for as cheap as it is, it's really not. I'm not going to poo-poo on it too much, because it is very cheap and you can put it in there. But like, if it had one of the other things, tactical awareness or sensor, I would definitely field it. But since it's just a trade, I'll just use other stuff.
But there's the Hakkaslam one has the Red Fury, which is pretty funny.
Right.
Yeah, the Hakkaslam one was great.
So don't sleep on the bots. Real good for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I will definitely say, Tim, from my point of view, you putting the hidden deployment, that was a hacker, right? With the E-Mauler?
No.
Is that right? No? Oh, was it a specialist, though?
Yeah, he's a specialist operative.
Okay. Yeah. So you putting that specialist over there was really smart. I was thinking about it later, and they have a camo state. Is that correct?
No.
No? Okay.
That is their downside. Like, it's only like 26 points for that guy, but he has a lot of stuff going on. It's just not camo state.
Yeah. Never mind. That negates what I thought. I thought he had a camo marker state, and I was going to say you run him up, but your positioning was incredible, given where the zone was.
If you had not put your I was gonna move him up to go kill your hacker, but your rocket was watching.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine.
I will tell you another thing that I would have changed. So we made progression on the game. The Hatamoto with the Spitfire just killed a few things and then grabbed one of the boxes, and then I brought him around the over to the wall over there, or the corner of that building. I talked to you about this after the game, but when you were moving a dill up, I had just prayed that you didn't notice that line of sight that you could see the Hatamoto, and I was like, don't ARO, otherwise he'll see the Hatamoto and kill him. And then you shot him, and I'm like, shoot, I should have dodged.
If I'm being honest, I did miss him initially, and then I was looking around like, all right, what else do I need to care about? Oh, hey, what are you doing there, buddy?
He's like trying to blend into the wall.
Oops.
Full samurai outfit, just like he's got his arms wide back against the wall, like, don't look over here. It's fine. I have mimetism. You can't see me.
Yeah, I should have just dodged him while you were doing the rest of the stuff, but I tried to be cheeky.
If I expose myself, like in one of the moments where you see me, but I'm also like engaging the rocket, then you're like, I dodge now. Now's when I say, look.
Yeah, that was definitely a misplay on my part.
I do think that so one of the things going into this event that I would have redone if I knew better. I had initially, my second list is my Sujan list, and I think I brought it with the assumption we were using the covert ops stuff, which was not true.
Sure, to give it stealth. Yeah,
I just wanted to be cheeky with a shotgun, which sounded fun at the time. But I definitely think I would have done like a long wing list.
Yeah,
There's a lot of other options there. Yeah. I don't know that would necessarily play into the final mission any better, but
Sure.
just in terms of things I would change doing the event again.
Yeah. Hard to say. I have a question for you, Tim.
Hit it.
You had mentioned that the flashbot was really annoying where it was. Do you still feel that way?
Yes, but partially because my tools felt weird that game.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a shotgun guy that just really root you out. In
True.
hindsight, one of the things I could have tried, like I didn't see any. There's only the Tanuki hacker. I could have played risky with Sunsei, and just brought him out to just deal with the Jizamurai. But I thought like burst 5 would just get you eventually, or like, or the breaker combi. The breaker combi is the one that I was really disappointed in. I was like, come on, man, you're on 15s, or come on. I think that
Jizamurai just fought the world for a while.
I guess thinking about it a bit more, afterwards, I was like, I really could have just been spotlighting and killing. Like I should have just used my missile launcher.
Yeah.
So that's the actual like what I should have changed, because I could have just that'll kill the Jizm, right? I can spotlight
Kill a lot
him.
of things.
I can kill, yeah. But if I had been able to deal with a Jizamurai with the breaker combi that turn, I think that game gets so much harder for you just because the repeater's there.
Yes.
Like you have to put extra effort into going and killing it, and I probably get more spotlights or other things off on things. It was a good repeater where it ended up, and beyond that, Jizamurai I couldn't go and just deal with my hacker.
I don't. Just being open, I don't know that the killing the Jizamurai in that situation does change it as much as you're thinking. The only reason I say that is because I had other gun options that could see into that corridor where that repeater was.
Okay.
But you killing the Jizamurai definitely would have had a huge impact on the rest of the game for sure. I'm not going to deny that at all.
Yeah. Even if it's only as much as like I just have my hacker there. Like even if he's just prone right there, he's suddenly a problem.
Did the Kyojin killer kill a hacker, or was it the Jizamurai? I think it was the Kyojin killer. Because I made.
You were camoed. You're right. You ran over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 2 Kyojin killers in the list for those listening. The first one went over there, got paralyzed, and then the second one ended up on the opposite side of the board. Kind of not doing much, but then ended up killing the hacker that he had. Was it a Koga? Is that who it was?
Koga Ninja. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys are unreal. Unreal.
They're great.
Like they fill so many specific slots that like there's a reason they limit it to just ISS. If that was in vanilla, like oh my god. I already considered doing vanilla before the event because most of the tools I was playing with I still would get, right? The big differences would be like I don't have a pure duo in the Wuming, but like that you get access to a bunch of other guns that aren't in vanilla. I mean ISS. And so, but the problem is that you miss out on a lot of the super specialized stuff that they've been starting to restrict as tutorials. And in this case, I don't get the Ken Fang, which is the Emerak. I don't get the Koga Ninja, which I think is probably better
Very
than
good.
the normal Ninja. They're
Yeah,
different,
I
but I
agree.
do think he's better.
Mm.
Not being ODD sucks, but it's life. One
That's
thing that
mimetism -6 for our newer listeners.
sorry, yeah.
It's okay. I still do it too sometimes.
It just surprises me that like all of ISS's hidden deployment is not -6.
hmm
Other than
Yeah.
the Ninja. Other than the OG Ninja, it's all Mim 3.
It is a little weird to think about when, older designs of the game, if you were hidden deployment, you just were camouflage and mimetism -6. It was all kind of part and parcel. And
Yep.
yeah, starting at N4, those things started to branch out into their own separate skills without being combined automatically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still weird to think about sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that mission is fun. I'm interesting question for you guys. Do you think it would be a better mission if it wasn't diagonal?
No.
No.
I don't specifically think so either. I feel like the diagonal deployment is part of what makes it feel more interesting. Like I do like the addition of the safe zone. I don't like the addition of the extra supply box in the center
I
because I think
agree.
that's just annoying bookkeeping. But generally, I think that um, I don't think it would be better otherwise. I don't think it would be worse,
I
but I don't think it
my
would be specifically better.
my line of thought here is that the thing that annoyed me about the deployment zone the most is mostly just the far corners that felt so far away. Um, but like weren't in the enemy deployment zone. There was just like long neutral zone, and so you saw both of us
Sure.
put our APTs in the corner, which means we're largely not interacting with them unless we spend a lot of effort to go do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you join an
I
AD unit.
I will piggyback kind of off of this, where I think that I think that I really like that aspect of the game. I just we're used to being so much closer to those sorts of things. Adding the extra inches to get to the corners of the board makes the game feel a little more a little longer, I guess, is the only way that I'll put it.
Mhm.
But because you have to spend so many more orders to get out there, and we've gotten into a situation of Infinity where everybody's playing, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people are playing with a vast amount of orders generally. So I like adding that sort of thing to sort of limit down the free expenditure of orders that everybody seems to have. So I like that. But I will also say, in regards to the corner deployments, it's very awkward playing it in a tournament setting where all of the other missions are not set up that way. So people setting up terrain is just really tough. People setting up objectives objectives are going to land right on the middle of something, almost guaranteed, unless everybody's really considerate about their deployment of their tables, which some tables don't have that option because there isn't enough terrain on there to make it an option. So I love provisioning, but it's rough.
I'd be curious what the like post Krug survey would say. Like, how did everyone find the table? Like, I want the question to be specific about how did people find the tables for provisioning, not necessarily it being about how the mission is. Just how was it playing in a tournament setting with the tables kind of as they were.
Yeah, and I think that that's true of most missions that have alternative deployments. It's just so much more magnified because this is a vastly different deployment than other missions. But it's like anytime you've played um, Power Pack or Biotech War or things like that, like there are tables where it's like, okay, I think that generally people are fine like at eyeballing what your 12-inch deployment zone is going to look like, at least pretty close when somebody's setting up a table. But people don't think about that for Biotech 4 sometimes, and it shows, and you have nowhere to go, and stuff like that. And so this is just much, much harder because people are not necessarily thinking about that. And so I think it'd be very easy we talked about this when we reviewed the mission a couple episodes ago, and that definitely came up.
Yeah, there was definitely a number of tables that got rotated 90 degrees to prevent a long fire lane going from the left corner to the opposite corner, right through the middle of both players' DZs.
I think
Nice.
I like. I can get behind what you're saying, Azoka. I like them playing with new deployment types more than I like feeling comfortable. I do think that is a better thing for it to occur. But what I think I actually want is for them to expand the weird deployments to more missions.
100% agree.
Sure.
Like if
Get
this
people
was
more
more
used to it.
consistent, yeah. If people were more familiar with it, it wouldn't feel so weird.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be easier for people to consider those things and hopefully make it a little more considered when tables are being set up. But it's hard. Like if you have 5, 6 different deployment maps, it becomes much more difficult for a single setup of a table to reasonably accommodate all of those things.
And
Yeah.
it might be the kind of thing where, like, we've done before is I choose the mission. Like when we were doing Armageddon, I chose the mission order sometimes with the missions in mind. So like, it'd be all right. Well, day 2 is going to be all of our
Mhm.
like table
Armory.
supply. Yeah, like all the armory stuff.
Sure.
Um, so I think that you could have that where it's like today's diagonal day.
Yeah.
I could see
And
it.
then
I will-
people can change their tables as necessary.
Right. It's definitely the kind of thing where I want to see more of that kind of thing. Then, if they're gonna embrace it, embrace it. Go do it proper.
Well, it is important to note that this mission was not part of the ITS 16 packet. It was introduced for the future ITS seasons and just given to the Krug as a mission to play.
Sure.
Right. This is
So
an
hopefully we'll
ITS
see more.
17 mission.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can get
I
them
agree.
all done.
So hopefully that means we're going to see a bunch of crazy wild deployment zones in ITS 17.
That would be nice.
I imagine we'll see a couple. Like, I think that there'll probably be like maybe this and one other mission. that
Bring back Power
are-
Pack.
Bring back Power Pack. Yeah, I think that there'll be one other mission that does some other. If it's not diagonal, it'll be some other notably different deployment, not just a 8-inch 12 or 8, 12, 16-inch line opposed.
Yeah.
I think there'll be one other oddball one, is my guess. But yeah, speaking of dealing with tables, I know that was one of your primary responsibilities, Ian. You were designated
Yeah.
table wrangler. And so
My
do you
man.
want to talk a little bit about how that went and kind of running through people's tables and kind of how you tackled that?
Yeah, so we needed 60 tables, and we had people sign up to bring tables, and not everybody was able to bring tables. There was a few people that had to bow out for like family emergencies and stuff like that. That just happens.
Yeah.
So we had to scramble to get the last few tables. But I will say, compared to last year, where we had half the players, and I still needed like 12 or 13 tables morning of, and I was really whipping on people like get it set up. It's 10 minutes till dice. Like we got to go now. I only needed 5
Yeah.
tables the morning of. So, and we got those pretty early, and we were able to get it done. That said, being primarily community tables, it's the quality you get is going to be all over the place. And part of that is awesome because I like the variety. I really want
Sure.
variety on the tables. That's part of the thing what makes Infinity so cool is that there is a lot of variety, and the table does play such a huge amount in how the game is played. That said, sometimes you get some really rough tables, and
Yeah.
we went through and we adjusted some tables where we could. There was some tables that were very difficult or impossible to physically adjust due to like how they were constructed and put together, which, while a cool concept, led to some issues when it comes to actual gameplay of some open fire lanes that we'd had very little control over. Like I previously mentioned, there was a few when people were setting up, they look awesome. But then the moment I step over to look at the deployment zones for provisioning, it's like, oh, this is a problem. So we'd have to move some stuff
Yeah.
around, or honestly, what became the easiest was to just pick up the table and rotate the whole topper 90 degrees, and then see if we need to adjust anything for normal deployment zones. And that fixed most of the tables that needed a provisioning adjustment. So it was
Nice.
really cool. My goal is for next year is that we do have a little bit of a head start on this. My goal is to have 10 or 15 house tables in
Mhm.
reserve. Now, these aren't necessarily going to be set up unless I need to set them up, but the goal here is that I can use these to either adjust and up terrain a table that's sparse, or swap out for a table that just really isn't conducive to competitive play. And
Yeah.
I don't want to do that because I do want people to bring community tables because there's some fantastic ones. But politely, there are times where something gets put down and just like, this is not up to standard. And
Right.
having those house tables to be able to adjust or swap things out with to keep more of a consistent field of play amongst all the tables, I think is going to be key because nobody wants to feel like they took a loss because they had a bad matchup on a bad table.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but I definitely did hear comments about the tables, that there was some spacious ones and sparse ones, and
Yes.
trying to fill 60 tables is pretty tough. So I kind of expected to hear something along those lines.
Yeah, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. Most people thought that there was a good breadth of tables. But there were some complaints and comments that I personally addressed with people because I always want the feedback. But I also had to explain, like, unfortunately, like, I understand where you're coming from, but like due to the resources on hand, we were kind of limited in our options to be able to fill out for the event because of X, Y, and Z factors.
It's also just kind of weird to plop one of your own tables on somebody else's, or one of your own buildings on someone else's table just to put a wall in the way or something.
Yeah. And so you don't want to make anybody feel bad about their table, but there is a certain point where you just kind of be like, this one really isn't going to be good for the event. And if somebody's got to be the bad guy on that, like I can do that. If I have the resources to make it up with a better table.
Yeah, exactly. And and we've talked about it before in terms of list building, like, you can kind of prepare for that to some extent, but there are definitely some tables that kind of push the bounds of what's feasible, even if you have a little bit more uh, inclination towards longer range pieces, where you kind of have to almost be specialized for those sorts of tables when they get extra bad. And that's one of those complaints that I think every single event of Infinity that has ever been played will have people complaining about tables. And it just
I agree.
I've done it myself because they always show up because
I've put
you
on
can't always
plenty
control
of bad ones. Now that said, we've got a few things in the works in addition to some extra tables on hand that we're trying to get finished up over the course of the next several months to a year. Through talking with Mark and all that, we're looking at some preliminary plans of maybe there's an objective room mission next year, and maybe every single table has an objective room in the center that's infinitely tall that helps break up some of that line of sight. And we're looking into options. He's already looking into some testing on this of a 3D printable objective room that we can do for relatively cheap, that we can just have a big box of them, so I can run around and go, and an objective room for you, an objective room for you, and everything's going to be nice. Because even if you're not playing an armory mission, having that objective room on the table through the other missions just still helps with line of sight issues, period.
Yeah. And I know of some events that they'll have either tokens or blast templates or similar, and just say, hey, these are infinite height pieces of terrain, and just plop them on tables and say, hey, nope, this is no line of sight, this is no line of sight, let's cut some of these off. So there's definitely a number of ways to do it, but that's good to hear that there are some plans in the works just to make sure that things are as equitable as they can be.
I also am gonna say, at the end of the day, deployment is a valid choice.
Sure.
Should be.
On the note of objective rooms, I mean, some cool guy may have done that at every Armageddon he ran. It's funny. I hadn't really thought about it with that specific thing in mind, but it probably saved me a lot of headache. Like there's a
Surely.
number of maps that I'm certain where I'm just like, you built this on purpose. Oh, it's like 2 buildings, right? So I definitely like, and I think this is. I feel like when we were talking about some of the kind of post Krug roundup stuff,
Mhm.
one of the things that I found interesting is kind of trying to muse on, well, what is this going to look like? What problems get larger when you have more people,
Mhm.
right? And tables is going to come to mind. You're always going to have like a sort of like core amount of tables you can probably fill. And then after that, with how the game scales up, it's going to be whatever the cheap option that the populace likes that is going to be what people kind of gravitate towards.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that finding a solution to. It's not an easy solution, but it's definitely something that tournament organizers will have to figure out. Is like, all right, what's the most efficient way for us to actually get like tables up in here?
Yeah, and it's hard because it's not very formulaic, right? Like there are some basic heuristics that can help, but those are, very sparse, and not everyone kind of adheres to those, like trying to push height towards the center of the table or make sure that uh, each table edge is not completely unbroken in line of sight and things like that. Like there are plenty of tables that do those sorts of things, even though that's
Mhm.
some conventional wisdom, I suppose. But yeah,
Yeah.
table construction is definitely much more art than science, and it
Well,
shows.
and then there's
Yeah.
also the issue of okay, so say like the tournament organizers then become responsible for providing the majority of tables, and which it's not a terrible idea as far as consistency, but then you got to look into the logistics of who has the space to store
Hmm?
60 tables of terrain.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's where it's part of the community aspect really comes in, is just being able to have that many tables, because if you can get a one table or two tables, hell, even three tables from some people, that helps ease up the burden, because it's super hard for an individual or even a couple of individuals to be able to provide all of the terrain for an event that large.
I
Yeah.
will chime in to say that Bostria did mention and bring up, when he was talking about the event, how cool it is that we have a community that does bring our own tables. Like
Yes.
everybody, has a table that they want to bring. Not everybody, but a vast majority of people do that. And I want to encourage that. Let's not be in a situation where we have to rely on a tournament organizer to house 60 tables, and instead it's difficult to bring a table when you're flying, especially because that's for most people not even an option. But for those around, if we can have a good community that has tons of tables, it will make a difference.
Yeah, and then we can just push
100%.
everybody to make better tables, more consistent tables.
I think this is something that long term, the ability for players to get tables is getting easier. If only because like you can just print out Tom Shadle painted tables now, right? Like Jay is doing huge things with pre-printed terrain. It's expensive, but like, how much do you value your time at? Because that's going to save you dozens of hours, if minimum.
I mean,
And it
especially
looks
the
really
quality
good.
that those are. Yeah.
Like I gave an entire table of Cosmica on sprue away because I looked at it and I said, I am never going to paint and build this, but if all I have to do is build it, that changes the equation quite a bit for me.
Yeah.
Same.
So I think that might be something that, I mean, even as far as some clubs could even get together to like pool their money if that's the limiting factor. I don't think that the costs are prohibitive to the point where like a club couldn't get together and get tables.
Sure.
And for tournaments, that's where we should see the cosmic level stuff. But like, if you're talking about even local play and growing your communities, the cardboard stuff's actually pretty good that they put out in
Yeah.
recent years.
Yeah.
I've played on that plenty of times. It works just fine.
You ready for the secret sauce that Tom showed us? He
Mhm.
had little wooden like blocks that were like 2 by 2 by 4, and he would just put them in there to give weight to the buildings.
That's really smart.
Genius.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
It makes those tables so like they don't just shift when you tap them. It's great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see it. I mean, you don't stack anymore, but that's probably worth it.
I mean, it could just be like the most important thing that we found it on was like the container crates, not necessarily the buildings themselves,
Yeah, yeah.
because that just gives them weight when previously they were just
Mhm.
like, oh, this is paper. Like,
Oh, you mean not the most current
sorry,
type of
yeah,
terrain that you mean the actual the papercraft terrain from
yeah, like
previous sets?
those were really useful for us because
Yeah.
we had weight in them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fun trick with those is that the old cardboard boxes inside the packaging for the miniatures was the right size to fit in those. So he just put something heavy-ish in there, and then just the building fits around it and has the tabs on the bottom. And you just
Mhm.
tape it, and it's like it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have a fair few packs of that papercraft terrain in my basement
Oh,
still.
same. I have so many packs.
But I'm excited for the Krug. I think the trajectory is on the up from here, and
Oh yeah.
I'll try to be there every
Definitely.
year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think that this event went really well. I think it's only going to grow, like you said, and that it it should be pretty awesome. Like, it was already a really good event, and I had a great time. And it sounds like most people that attended, anyone I talked to, seemed to really enjoy themselves, which is great. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think bigger and better from here.
I will tell you that the only negative that I have had for the Krug was that I didn't get to talk to everybody I wanted to talk to.
Yes,
Right?
it was
Yeah, there's a
big.
ton of people.
Like Shane was there, and I said hi, how are you? And then I don't think I saw him again at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely hard to make it all the way around and catch up with everybody.
I think that is. I mean, in terms of problems, it's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think it's probably universally agreed that if we can just fix the heat, that's it.
Yeah. Well, and that is something in the works for next year, hopefully. Bigger room, better airflow.
We'll play in a meat locker. Let's go.
Let's do this. That's
Bring
like where
back
the problem
Frostbite.
is. We're doing real frostbite. That's actually fantastic.
Should be a great time.
Yeah.
I don't know what faction I'm gonna play next, other than probably Shinden. But then everybody will be playing Shinden. It was
I won't be.
It was everywhere.
I can hear the happiness.
Ta-da. Yeah, that'll be coming up soon. I think that we'll do the poll for Ian's ITS event army for season 17 once season 17 drops here in September, which should only be, as of recording, a couple weeks away.
So we make them play French.
Yeah.
That's the
love it.
hard part, is that they're going to come out later, is my understanding.
Yeah.
They won't be out soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, existing sectorials and vanilla factions that are not ones that I have played since we've started doing the polls is what's on the menu. I mean, to be fair though, like Varuna and Foreign Company don't exist right now, so that makes it a little
Right.
easier.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
I
Yes, that'll
look
be
forward
interesting to see.
seeing something. I've been. I want to play more TAC in my life. I really enjoy them.
Sure.
It's a weird thing that like their version of the game feels so different these days.
Mm-hmm.
But I never get tired of Kazakh, man. Oh.
Dude,
That's
someone
fair.
was talking up the Vistral, the
Mhm.
neurocynetics. Somebody was
Better than
talking
it
that up,
looks.
and I had to chime in and be like, "You're my god. I love you."
I mean, that is a big pull for me right now, is because I've been asking for a tractor mule with an autocannon for years, and now there is one, and I'm not currently playing the faction.
Yeah, look, I'll vote for you to play that faction.
There you
That's on
go.
my shortest of lists, is to play the Vistral.
Yeah, but that said, if Merovingia was on the menu, I absolutely in a heartbeat would be playing Merovingia. I do have a fully painted Merovingia army, and they have always been one of my favorites. But alas, they will probably not be in the running for this poll.
Yeah, unless there's some surprise where they come out, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, I think we're just about ready to transition to final thoughts. But I did want to take a moment and say thank you to all of our wonderful patrons who help keep the show going, supporting us with subscription costs and hardware replacements or upgrades and all of that stuff. You allow us to do special projects and do some sponsorships like we were able to do for the Krug this year with our annual patches and all that good stuff. So thank you for doing that. And for those interested in joining, you can find us on patreon.com/metachemistry. And in return, we have a couple small things to show our gratitude for those. Things like early access to episodes, final round voting on polls, uh, private areas on our Discord, things like that. And if that's not something that is up your alley, you should join our Discord. It is a free and open platform other than some of those aforementioned channels, and we'd love to have you. Because if you are looking for places to talk Infinity in case you're not getting enough somehow, we've got it all there too. So we've got some great tables, some of the tables that showed up at the Krug. We got to see the work in progress in our channels there. Uh, Tons of fantastically painted miniatures, people going over lists, all that good stuff. But with that said, Ian, Azoka, Tim, final thoughts on the first Corvus Belli Krug. Ian, do you want to start?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I went into this with the expectation of being a player, and then it grew so much that I was asked if I could be a judge. And then everything, it just spiraled, and I was the table wrangler, and then I was the ringer for a couple rounds because we had an odd number of players on the first day. So I did get to still play a little bit, which was fun. And then I got on the live stream. I actually did very little actual judging. But I put on the live stream for 3 of the games, and yeah, it was super cool to see how this has grown. It's been going to Krugs for a very long time at this point, and they're always a lot of fun, but this was just something on another level with everything going on, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, you could definitely feel the difference for sure. What about you, Azoka?
I am ecstatic for next year. This year was so much fun. I've had a week to come down from the event itself, and it was everything that lived up to my expectations. So I'm really excited for next year. And I think one of the things I am most excited for in next year is going to be Warcrow. We'll have a tournament for Warcrow, or at least a game day. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do yet. But Warcrow's been fun, so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, that'll be nice for sure. Yeah, I'm excited to try and get some more games in as I can start to fill in a faction a little bit better. So yeah, soon.
Yeah.
Yep. Tim, what about you? Any final thoughts on the Krug this year?
I mean, I love seeing it grow to this point. I feel like there's been a rumble-sized hole in all of our hearts for years,
Yeah.
and it's fun to see. I think especially though, I'm I'm happy to see Corvus Belli finally taking our community seriously. In terms of the support that they put for you guys to even make this work. It's something that I think that they should have been doing for years, and it's clear that at least now they have a better inkling of how good our community is, both for the game and for each other. Like Carlos gave that speech at the end of the Krug where he was talking about how we're like the golden standard for how Infinity should be played, and I think that's true. I think there's no better place to look than the Krug last weekend. That everyone was having a good time, and there were no fights. Like it's
Mhm.
not like we're like arguing over stuff or like tearing each other apart. It's all good vibes. So I'm happy to see them taking that step towards where I think things should be. Um, and it was great seeing all my own friends. I also need to get a Warcrow force since that's going to be there next year, and so I'm gonna look into that a bit. And it's even
Mount
inspired me
Haven.
to play more. Mount Heaven's not out though.
I know,
I
but it will be by then.
well, I Chief,
True.
I already have a player over here. You guys remember Chief? He's picking up
Mhm.
the two players like the original starter. So I thought I might be playing
Northern
Hegemony.
Tribes? Hegemony.
I
Hegemony's
want
awesome.
Nilfgaard, baby.
Dude, Nilfgaard,
It's
100%.
just Nilfgaard. That's just what it is. It's perfect.
That's fair. Yeah. Yep. I
Um,
totally see it.
but like beyond that, this is excited. Like it's gotten me more excited to rep the game, given that my last year I've not really been focused on it. It
Mhm.
Yeah.
felt like a good break. Like it's got me and Clint talking about doing more throwdown stuff. Like it's fun. So you
Yeah,
might see some
absolutely.
tabletop throwdown in the near future. It'll be great.
That'll be exciting. Yeah, and yeah, I'd love to see some of that. And you know, if one of you needs to take a day, I'd be happy to jump on again if that works out.
Oh yeah. No, I want to. I want to play. Dang it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, but I definitely agree. The love that Vostra shared with the community was really fun. Like it was just great for him because that's part of why Corvus Belli came through and gave as much support as they did to the Corvus Belli Krug is because of last year when Bostra made it out. He kind of saw how the event was being run and all the things that um, Mark and Eric and the crew were working on, and how everyone works, nobody quits, and just how everyone pitched in to make the event what it was.
Mhm.
And
I think it's part of that, and I think it's also that that new marketing director is really pushing for Max.
yeah, yeah. Max, like I've said, I mean, he's a wrecking ball. He's always moving, always pushing to get things done. I got a chance to meet him at Gen Con this year, and definitely a high energy guy. He's really fun to talk to. But it's definitely you need to go there. You should talk to this person. Hey, this would be a good person to interview on for the show. If you need something, I'll jump on. We can do something. We'll do. You want me to talk to Hoopu? I'll have her on for some Warcrow stuff if you want. Like just constantly moving and spinning plates. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, I agree that that's definitely been a big push. And I think that we're at a place where Infinity is really growing in a way where kind of maybe we thought it was, a year ago or so. But I think some of those things are actually being realized because that's when we saw the Paradise Lost trailer for the animated show. And there were novels coming out. Now there are still novels coming out. And now they're having an organized Corvus Warchives to make these a collection of canon works. And there's video games coming out, there's Hexadome Legends, and then there's the Infinity Tactics game that has yet to be named that is in development, and all these
So
different
excited.
avenues. Yeah, absolutely. And there's all these different
Akron's
avenues.
Fall.
Right, yeah, Acheron's Fall still coming out
You
at
you
some
reminded me
point.
just one guy we didn't mention. I think Gabe did some incredible things. Like the link tree made
Hmm.
things
Yes.
so clean. That guy
Oh, it
did a
was
lot. He
great.
was so good.
Yeah, for context, um, Gabe Miller, who, if you listen to our Death Song episode, just an episode or two prior to this, that's the same Gabe who set up these link trees. So there was a QR code at each table. Players could scan those codes. They had access to the mission PDF. They had access to pairings. They had access to reporting. And was there anything else?
I think mission those are the main stuff. Things. There was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the mission PDF. Yeah, but there was just a collection of things at each table that you could easily get to and access without needing to, scroll through a Facebook group to find a link or check which channel is this pinned in a Discord or whatever the case may be. So yeah, great quality of life improvement there. So I totally agree.
If it was just the link tree, it would be enough. But he did the whole staff. I'm proud of you guys for doing what you've done. So you should feel proud.
We do.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a very different perspective. This is the first time that I had spent time being a judge for an event, at least in any official capacity. And we had the live stream, which again, a lot of production value there with all of Steven's expertise and equipment. And yeah, it was a really fun experience. It was a great alternative lens to view the event through. But as a judge, there were, very few rules calls I had to make. There was essentially no animosity that I had to deal with anyone towards, their opponent or me, thankfully. So yeah, it was a really great time. I'd love to be back on it again if that's how things work out. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks again for joining us. It's been a blast to have you on and talk about Top Table and kind of go over our experiences again. But on behalf of Metachemistry, I've been Devin.
Ian.
Azoka.
Tim. And that's the meta.